So we are thrilled to have you here to have conversation with chosen people from different countries, the Philippines and Singapore, to share with us their cultural dimension among themselves.
That's right, we are here tonight to talk about the two country culture differences, not because to know what country is the best and superior, but to learn and to inform everyone how we humans should respect one another.
With our social media platform, you might be thinking on tweeting on Twitter, hashtag toxic relationship, hashtag the audacity every single time you spend someone opposites to your point of view that you're doing right now, which affect us dramatically. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Lisa Michelle Lopez.
And I am James Julius. Let's now all welcome and give a round of applause to our guest tonight from Philippines, Valmeo, Tapero, Valles, and from the Singapore, Janko, Calderero, and Cabaldo.
Okay, may I ask, based on your point of view, do you feel superior or does anyone feel you any less person?
No, because there is so much you miss out when you feel superior and think you're better than others. You miss the chance to truly connect with people to form deep, lasting bonds.
How about you, Mr. Balmeo? What can you say?
Yes, because I know within myself that I can do anything through God's grace. Superiority doesn't only come as negative, but I take it positively. With being superior, a word is enough for your followers to follow you. So, in terms of teamwork, it's a great aspect to drive unity.
At the score of 94, Philippines has a higher power distance compared to Singapore with a total of 74, which means Filipino wealthy people are looking down those poor instead of helping them out. They are dragging them out on their grave. The best example of this is when a poor being held accountable to a crime they don't actually do, most especially with our current backup system. Without money, you are guilty. Let's now hear from the other's point of view in terms of power distance of their country.
For it is human nature to do so. It's not of ethnicity, nationality, and race. It's not of our culture to do so. It's human nature. Everyone, no matter what race is, acts like that. There's always someone who will degrade you and will belittle your achievement, no matter where you are.
In the Philippines, crab mentality is ideal. No matter how good you are at your creative craft, your relatives is always have a comment about your achievements. Even if you are striving in life, they don't want you to rise above them. And whenever you are, they are trying to bring you down so that it does not happen. It is toxic because you are being inferior to the person. You are being compared to you in that aspects. And it discounts the fact that each has his or her own uniqueness.
Truth to be told, no matter what country you came from, there is always diversity. In such country with a high power distance, leaders support and protect their subordinates like parents care for their dependents. Leaders who have more empathy are better able to assess the needs of the people with whom they work, a useful skill for leaders anywhere.
Do you believe that you are better off alone?
Yes, I believe that I'm better off alone because in our country, most of us are independent. There is a housing in Singapore falls under two main categories. Public HDB flats built by the Housing Development Board and private condominiums and landed property. The choice of housing purely depends on budget, location, facilities, amenities, transportation, and personal preferences.
How about you, Miss Valles?
For me, here in the Philippines, it is better to be alone than to have someone with you but you don't know if it's your ally. There are people who will do bad things just to ruin you. We can tell if what is in front of us is true. There are people who judge quickly. They judge a person by what they see and they don't know who we really are.
You seem rather confident. Why?
I am confident because we all know that most Filipinos are easy to judge. I am not saying all but most. So for me, it is better to be alone because I know myself who am I.
As per of individualism versus collectivism with a score of 32, Philippines is collectivist, which means Filipinos are more likely rather work together or stay together than left a person behind. This already happening for quite some time now. Some Filipinos are staying at their parents' house knowing that they have already a family. Same goes with Singaporean with a total score of 22, apparently higher than the Philippines.
With our current toxic culture, I couldn't agree more with this kind of controversial question. As a woman, did you experience something that makes your blood boil hearing a woman are like that? Or woman should stay at home, cleaning, babysitting, and so forth?
Not really. If someone would say that to my face, I wouldn't be so angry about it. Because as a woman, it's our maternal instinct to do so, to serve for our family. What will make my blood boil is that person said that that's the only thing that I should do. Because that's wrong. Women are far more capable of doing things outside the house.
Let's now hear from Mr. Perro's point of view regards of masculinity versus feminine.
Yes, I experience that most of the time. They are always belittle me because I'm a woman. They think I'm incapable of working male tasks, that I should stay in our house to do some household chores. But I raised in a family that even we are women, we do the men tasks, to make the job easier and to teach us how to do some other things even if it does not fit to our gender. Besides, wanting to be the best which makes you masculine. Isn't that bad? In fact, that is the best choice, and valuing one's life isn't make you feminine. It's an indeed a peaceful life. When you treat it equally, no bias, no judgment.
At the score of 48, Singapore is in the middle that makes it on more feminine side. That means valuing and liking what you do and wanting to be the best is equal okay. The Philippines scored 64 on this dimension and is thus a masculine society. In masculine countries, people live in order to work. Managers are expected to be decisive and assertive. The emphasis is on equity, competition, and performance, and conflicts are resolved by fighting them out.
For men, why do you feel higher than women? Does it make you more powerful?
For me, I don't think that men are more powerful than women because these days women can do things that men can do, most especially when it comes to abilities.
For me, I feel higher than women because I think men are stronger than women. We tend to protect our ladies up to the best that we can, and that made me think superior, and I think Philippines value patriarchal society.
As for me, being superior and inferior don't make sense at all. If you don't respect one another, age, gender identity, and someone's point of view are not the basis of giving respect to others. It's not a free giveaway. You have to earn it.
I read on some article that some women embracing the same gender, don't you think empowering alone is not efficient?
Yes, empowerment could be overwhelming to other women. When you were overwhelmed by sudden strength that we have after some years, it really comes to the point that you'll belittle the sex that dominated our culture for a long time. I'm not justifying the fact though. I think that feminism isn't about women having all of the rights and us claiming the domination of men before. I think it's about equality of both sex. One should not think that it's better than the other.
Yes, because some of women always says that they should more empower themselves, but because of their own insecurity, they end up noticing and bashing their own gender.
Don't you believe that the governance should have prevented uncertainty that comes to our own domain?
Yes, unlike other countries, government in the Philippines is only ready for what is happening in the present and focus on it, thus eliminating the possibility of sudden uncertainty that can be a national burden again.
Indeed, and most importantly, our very own president acting like a dog of China. I am very sorry, but it's just what I have read on some comments regarding the issues of today's happening. How about you, Mr. Calderero? What can you say about uncertainty avoidance of your home country?
I believe that Singapore is one of the countries that has really good governance, and it can be seen in their situation today.
Philippines has a low uncertainty avoidance with a total score of 44. That means I therefore conclude we are indeed a risk taker. Singapore has score of 8. They always abide to many rules, not because they have need for structure, but because of high PDI or power distance index. Singaporeans call their society a fine country.
Did something occur to have you something quick as much as possible? Dreams, money, immediate gain over something, to be with that person, to be doctor, lawyer, teacher, professor, flight attendant, chef, hotelier, or something?
For me, as of now, there is. But this is not exactly what I want to happen to me. To survive the daily ordeal and face the future is something I could have achieved.
No, it is possible only if you are rich. But if not, you need to work for it to reach your dreams or to have something you want. My parents also teach us if we want something, we need to work hard for it.
The Philippines score 44 on this dimension and thus has a low preference avoiding uncertainty. Low UAI societies maintain a more relaxed attitude in which practice count more than principle and deviance from the norm is more easily tolerated. Singapore scores 72. This high score is reflected in Singapore, which shows cultural qualities supporting long-term investments such as perseverance, sustained effort, slow results, thrift, being sparse with resources, ordering relationship by status, and having a sense of shame. Singapore has also become one of the five dragons with an immense economic success.
You think as a human being restraining yourself, indulging with your passion is wrong? If no, why do you think?
Restraining yourself, indulging with your passion is wrong. Because I think if you restrain yourself, you will not be able to do what your passion is. You will not be able to go through the steps to achieve what you desire.
Yes, because passion doesn't just bring happiness to the person who enjoys that passion. It also brings a vicarious pleasure to onlookers. But when you pursue your passion, you will find your trip up by failures and other obstacles. You can let that get to you. It happens to everyone on the path of following their passion.
It's not possible to determine a preference on this dimension because of Singaporean intermediate score of 46. With the lowest score of 42, the culture of the Philippines is one of restraint. Societies with the lowest score in this dimension have a tendency to cynicism and pessimism. Also, in contrast to indulgent societies, restrained societies do not put much emphasis on leisure time and control the gratification of their desires. People with this orientation have the perception that their actions are restrained by social norms and feel that indulging themselves is somewhat wrong.
Wow, that's an indeed amazing share from our guest. When I say amazing, I really mean that. Knowing diversity of two countries is much better than knowing not nothing. Why? Because once you leave the country, you will get culture shock. And I hope we learn and see the difference these two countries. Thanks for the night. See you next time. Bye.
Clap.
Avoid uncertainty.